Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, we're back in the end, and I'm ready to get back to my end project. And while I hope to start a new quarter today, first you might notice something a little bit different about the promenade around my lake. You see, I just got so tired of having torches everywhere on here, so I thought I'd try something out. Luckily, this ring of sea lanterns perfectly lights up the entire pathway, so I don't have to worry about additional lighting on either side. However, while I do think it actually looks kind of cool, I don't think it's a great idea to just have the lanterns showing because it looks a little bit weird down here. So I think I'm going to have to cover them up. For a while I was planning on using a street lamp design, but I was going to need so many of them to fully light up everywhere, it was just going to look really busy. And then when I decided to go for this design, I was then torn between using a grey carpet to try and look unobtrusive, or a brighter carpet to make it more of a feature. I think in the end the cyan carpet just works a bit better since it mimics the main roads, which I think works really nicely. Also, I thought it was probably about time I gave myself a nice way of getting up here instead of having to jump up endstone blocks, so that's an improvement. Yep, I think that's working quite nicely. The carpet circle might be slightly wonky in places, it's a little hard to tell, but overall I really like the effect. Also, it does cut a little bit close to the towers occasionally, but I basically made it so that when it's on these straight sections, the carpet is exactly equally distant from either side, so I think it's the right choice even if it does cut a little close on some of these very big towers. As for the stairs, it's a shame that the colour isn't quite right, but I do like it, and obviously we will need to work on this whole area, but that isn't for today. Today, I want to start on a new quarter. Specifically, I want to start on the church quarter. The church quarter is going to be this section here, and currently the plan is to have 2 towers to serve basically as churches with clerics inside, and then the surrounding area will be kind of like a public park with a playground and a hedge maze and some cool stuff to give the area a little bit more life, since I don't really think a huge cathedral type build is really the vibe I want to go for here. So, am I going to be building the whole quarter today? No, I don't think so anyway. It's not quite as involved as the blacksmith quarter, but I also don't want to burn myself out on this project, so I think for today I want to get the ground and the outer areas sorted. Then hopefully next episode we can build the actual towers and get the clerics inside. Sound like a plan? Good. Let's get going. there we go, that's the outside area of this quarter pretty much complete. And I think the thing I like most about this section is that it really does feel like a park that you might find in like a city or something. I mean, to start, we've got a playground for all the kids, and there's like a slide and swings and a roundabout. And also, you know those little animal things you normally find in parks and you sit on them and they're normally on springs or something? And yeah, these are my attempt at making those. It's not perfect, but honestly, I think it could have gone a lot worse. And I think the only major thing missing from the playground is one of those like rope pyramid things that you climb, but I just couldn't seem to find a way to make one of those work on this scale, so I just left it out, and I don't think it hurts too much. It still feels like a pretty decent playground. And then of course over this way we have our hedge maze. Now, I'll admit, it's not something you often find in like a random park, but I really liked the idea of having one, and it is the sort of thing that you might find in like a larger estate, so I don't think it's totally out of place. And my original idea was to put a graveyard here to go with the church, but clearly I don't know my way around my own maze. But yeah, I was originally going to put a graveyard here because it's right behind the church, but it just felt really out of place. So I thought I'd go with something a little bit more lighthearted. And I'm definitely going to get lost in my own maze because I just can't remember the way out. Is it this way? Nope. Okay, I'll come back to you when I've made my way out of the maze. Having escaped the maze and made it to the other side of the hill, we have this little fountain water feature thing. It just felt right to go in this space. It's possibly a little bit close to the lake, but it's not exactly unheard of for fountains to be near lakes or rivers, so I think it still works. Plus, I really like the way it's just sort of like tucked in a little under the hill, so it feels quite sheltered and calm. And then, of course, over this side, we have our mushroom forest. When I was originally working out what I wanted here, I was thinking that a park like this would normally have trees dotted around, but I ended up deciding that I wanted to keep with the mushroom theme, considering there's a giant mushroom in the middle of the island. I am hoping to put a big tree in one of the other quarters, but for here, I just really like the mushrooms and the fact that they gave me a space to put some more colour in, which was greatly appreciated because there's not a huge amount of colour everywhere else. And of course, there's little picnic blankets dotted around so people can sit out and enjoy there's no sunshine, but they can enjoy the vastness of the void, I guess. Now, obviously, right in the middle of all this, we have this little hill, which is currently very, very empty. But it won't stay that way for long. This is going to be where the two church towers are located. I've marked the corners where I think they're going to go. Hopefully next episode we'll be able to build both of these towers and finish out the quarter. The current plan is for them to be mostly made of quartz and then some stained glass windows, and I think it's going to look really cool. But like I said, that's all for next episode. For this episode, I want to tackle another tower interior, and this time I've gone for the yellow tower. This is another very thin tower, but I believe it's the tallest of the thin towers, giving us a couple more rooms to play with. As with all these towers, we come in at the lobby level. This time, because of the extra height of the tower, I was able to make the lobby 3.5 blocks tall instead of 2.5, giving us a little more space to play with, and it meant that I could have a little bit of a nicer entrance with these bookshelves, and I really quite like having the bell above the door as well. Then the next floor up, we have a nice little room. Like many of the rooms in these thin towers, there isn't like a ton of room to do much, but I do like the way this one turned out. Then we have what I'm calling the pillager outpost. Is it an actual pillager? Is it a villager who secretly works for them? I don't know. But I really like the idea of having a small pillager space in this predominantly villager world, like a little spy secretly plotting. This next floor is a little mini library, which I am very fond of. Then there's another sort of bedroom space, which I really like. I have many wishes for the Minecraft paintings, but sometimes the ones they do have do actually work quite nicely, and I think this is one of those times. This room feels very functional, and I think it probably belongs to one of the people working in the blacksmith. I was initially a little unsure about blocking in the bed quite this much, but I think it worked out quite well. It feels a little cramped, but then this is one of the smallest rooms on the island, so it probably should feel that way sometimes. And then finally, I decided that since no one in this tower seems to really have a proper kitchen or anything, that I'd put a kitchen at the top of the tower. Also from here, you will eventually have a really nice view of the church towers, but for now, it's just a little glimpse at the mushroom forest and the maze. So hopefully next time we'll be able to build the church towers up and give the people using that kitchen a lovely view. But until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!